Is everybody ready for our next panel? About a topic that no one's talking about, AI. Just kidding. Arguably like a very important topic right now. I talk about it every day. Creators are talking about it every day. The creator economy is talking about it every day. So we have, Are You Nervous Yet? An AI survival guide. We've got Eric Iverson from UTA, Anna Zussman from Freepik, Lisa Watts from Create Inc., and Matt Wolf from Future Today. Future Tools. Thank you.
Hello. All right. How's everyone today? Doing good? All right, I have a question. How many of you are creators out there? Oh, good, good, good. All right. How many of you have been to NAB? This is your first time to NAB. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm Eric Iverson. I'm the CTO at UTA. I've been in our Hollywood business here for about 26 years. And we have such a great panel here today. And I'm really excited about this topic. You guys excited about this topic? Yeah. All right. All right. So real quick question for you. How many of you have, what do we got here? Oh, clicker. I need a clicker. That's good. All right. How many of you are actually have not really used AI that much in your workflows or your projects? All right. So we got a couple out there. All right. So some of you guys are already warming up to it. All right. That helps us out a little bit. All right. So without further ado, we're going to go down. I'm going to let our esteemed panelists introduce themselves really quick, and then we'll kick things off. So Lisa.
Hey guys, I'm Lisa Watts, the CEO and founder of Create. We are a studio as software platform that can take you from your individual micro studio all the way to a big professional grade production all in one place.
I love it. And Matt?
So I'm Matt Wolf. I have a YouTube channel getting close to 1 million, about 935,000 subscribers.
How many of you see Matt out there?
It'll be 1 million after this panel. Let's get him there, guys. Let's get him there.
That's right. That's right. Bring them up. You like them right now. Right?
I also have a website called Future Tools where I share all the coolest AI tools and all the latest AI news. And I run a newsletter. I reach about 1.5 million people total. And yeah, that's me.
Yeah, you got nothing out of this panel, but knowing Matt and watching his really terrific YouTube channel. I've watched it, and go check out the tools. You'd already got a leg up, so that's great. And then Anna, a creator, also ex-Amazonian like myself, and now at a super cool company that is in generative media. Anna.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. My name is Anna Zussman. I am an AI creator known as Iridescent AI Art. I do not have as many followers as Matt. I have about 200,000. I make image, video, viral luxury images that are iridescent, aesthetic, very specific to my unique style. And I'm also an AI creative consultant at Freepik. We are an AI creative suite, and excited to be here.
That's awesome. All right, I'm going to do a quick review of you so you know how we're all lining up here. We actually have a creator with a really nice following that talks about AI and uses those tools. So that's going to be interesting to listen to, right? We have a creator that is actually now at a leading generative media company. That's going to be cool and interesting. And Lisa's company, which we're going to get into, is going to help creators grow more towards some of this like crazy professional stuff out here and bridge the gap. And we're going to talk about how that's going to be a really, really great opportunity for many creators going up. So we're going to start off. Matt, what we actually want to do is how many people want to hear what actually Matt is doing? Wouldn't that be a good learning? Yeah, I do too. Matt, it's actually pretty cool and interesting because we talked about it. So we're going to get right into our first slide here. Matt, tell us, you actually use, you have a great show, but you actually use generative media to help you with your show.
Yeah, so I use it in a few different ways. I use it during the sort of pre-production process. So what I like to do is I'll map out the video that I want to make. I will have an idea of this is the video I'm planning on doing. I will outline the whole video. I'll plan out all of the talking points. I don't really like to go to AI and say, hey, here's just a one-sentence idea.
Make me a show.
Yeah,
you don't do that.
Give me an outline, give me a script or whatever. I don't like to do that. I feel that AI is pretty bad at that, right? Like AI is sort of the average of everything on the internet, so you're going to end up with a pretty average script.
You know what I think? I actually just think that you're better.
I like to think that as well. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll give all the ideas that I have for the video, all the bullet points, all of my talking points. And then what I'll do is I'll actually feed my whole outline into something like ChatGPT or Claude and say, here's the plan for the video. what am I missing? What are the things that the comment section are going to point out when I publish this video? What are the holes in my logic? And I let it find the little things that I should probably also mention in the video. And I find that to be a really, really useful, really good use case for a lot of these large language models. But I also use it for like some of my visual elements. My videos lately, I like to use AI for my intros. So one of the things I've started doing is, we all know as creators that first 15, 20 seconds really, really matters to grab attention, right? So one of the things that I like to do is I'll use AI and I'll have scenes where I'm like bursting through the back wall of my room like the Kool-Aid man, sitting down in my chair and then starting the video. I have one where I fall from the ceiling, land in my chair, and then go, all right, here's what we're going to talk about today. And so like it grabs attention like right off the bat. And it's actually one of the things that I get the most comments about on my videos now is I'm here for the intros. The news is just a bonus, right? Like people love those intros and it seems to grab a lot of attention and really kick the videos off. Yeah. So I do that a lot.
So if you thought The Simpsons had like great intros, like, yeah, you need to go see Matt's. I really encourage you, if you have your phone out, just to open up YouTube right now, look up Matt Wolf. And you should go check out and just watch. You only have to watch like the first 30 seconds so you can get an example of that. So it's generative media coming straight into your production. Yeah,
exactly.
All right. So how long have you been doing that? So as far as like helping you with basically the run of show, you're kind of like your thought partner in that and organizing your thoughts. It doesn't sound like it's spot checking. It's a little bit of a thought partner. How long? When did you start doing that?
I started doing that in 2021, pre-Chat GPT. So I was using GPT-3 through the OpenAI playground, and I was sort of using it the way people use Chat GPT now. But I've been doing that for 5+ years, ever since GPT-3 was available.
Fantastic. And if you gave our wonderful audience, you guys are a wonderful audience. Look at this. It's like so many people engaged already. If you gave them some advice on, now that you've done that for a long period of time, if you were, had your ideas, you're coming up with your script or you're coming up with your run of show, what's a couple best practices you would recommend to them and how to use it? And what would you recommend not to? And you kind of suggested a couple of those already.
Yeah. And I'm going to kind of go back to those. I think the best practice is I like the human element to plan out what the video is, right? It's sort of cliche now, but like taste is what matters, right? A lot of my videos, I'm trying to share all of the latest AI news, right? So for me, there's a lot of filtering. There's a lot of like, what's the signal? What's the noise? What do I get rid of? So I still think it's really, really important for the human to sort of plan out the whole video, plan out the outline, figure out your talking points, and then let AI sort of fill in the gaps. Let it be more of that sort of like assistive resource after you've mapped out the video. Because again, if you let AI sort of map out the whole video for you, it's going to be a pretty average, boring video.
I love it. How many of you out there think that's a pretty good plan, like a good way of using AI? Yeah, it resonates with you guys? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Let's put the human at the center of it. It makes better content. And Anna, I think that resonates very well. We're gonna look something. Anyone want to see Anna's stuff? Yeah. Let's go see. Anna's made some really, really cool media. So check this out. So Anna, and on the right side there in particular, but why don't you kind of take us a little bit of kind of what you've been doing? And I know when we have been talking about it, this is a very similar way that you think of creating, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think why I've been so successful with my page and has been primarily because I've been able to find my own voice with AI and be able to create concepts that were impossible without AI due to production, due to budgetary restraints, due to having a team of people. And so now I'm able to take the ideas in my brain and be able to realize them leveraging AI. I train my own custom AI models that are very stylized to my specific taste and aesthetic. And so that's why a lot of the work that you'll see on my Instagram is very unique and you won't see it elsewhere. It doesn't exist.
All right. So if they want to see this on Instagram, what are they going to type into their Instagram to find you?
Iridescent AI art.
All right. You got that? It's okay to pull out your phones. Iridescent AI art. This is interactive. And then when we were talking about this, let's like I love this though. How many people like the watermelon dinosaur? Anyone out there with like kids or something like that? They're like, isn't this like the perfect thing for like?
I need the movie.
Yeah. Okay. Right? Well, you're going to get to that. You're going to help us. You're going to help Anna with that here shortly.
Deal.
All right. So, but tell us about that because how you thought about it. This isn't like make a dinosaur enter. Make a watermelon dinosaur enter. Right.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So how did you think about that when you kind of went to make the watermelon dinosaur with the really awesome shiny teeth? How did you go about that?
Yeah, so I've been experimenting with AI image and video models since the very beginning. And as they've evolved, it's allowed me to unleash my creativity. I've also been able to train the AI models on my specific aesthetic, which is very vibrant, colorful, glossy textures. And I was doing a lot of art with fruit that has fruit based imagery. As you can see, like there's like the strawberry chair, and I wanted to integrate a watermelon with fruit and also keep that iridescent aesthetic and glossy texture. So using my trained AI model, actually that image was made with Midjourney that I've spent 3 years training and feeding in my aesthetic. I was able to create that. And actually, if you go on my page and scroll, there's different animals, not just the dinosaur in that series.
Oh yeah, no, you have some great stuff here. Matt, you've taken a look. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I really like it. One of the things that there's this term AI slop, right? We've been hearing it for years now. And one of the things that I think is sort of like that differentiator is like the amount of effort that was actually put into something. And something like what Anna's doing here is like training your own model, spending all of this time on it, like really, really like having your own aesthetic, right? Like nobody else is making images with this aesthetic, right? So to me, it's like, it's kind of next level that you're going and you're training your own models and you're doing all of this effort to make your design, your style that's like different than anything else you're going to see on the internet.
Yeah. And I think to your point earlier, when you were talking about scripts and how you can't create a script, that's how I feel about prompting as well. I write my own prompts. I don't rely on ChatGPT or Claude. I actually go in and figure out what words work, what words don't work to be able to replicate that style and that aesthetic that people know and love me for. So, again, that human aspect of integrating it with AI and not solely relying on an LLM to tell you what to do.
I'm sensing a trend here, a theme. Yeah, making sure that the human spends a lot of time being creative and then get a little assistive help. Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so I got a question for you. This is actually going to be a fun hack. How many of you that want to, everyone feel like you should experiment a little bit more in the next quarter? How many people feel like you should experiment? All right, easy life hack. Yeah, thank you. Back there. All right. We have someone that's going to experiment back there. If you could almost just like take two things that you really love, watermelon, iridescent. How many people out there have two things they really love? And you could explore two things you could really love. There you go. So you get another great little hack there.
Exactly.
You want an inspiration. That's a great way to kind of think about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Pick several things that you love, an aesthetic that you love. Try to make something that is unique to you and that your style, right? You don't want to take a famous artist and copy their work, right? That's the amazing thing about AI is you can make anything and things that don't exist yet.
Yeah, I love it. All right, now Lisa. Let's start. I'll help connect the dots here because what you're doing is actually going to be really important for this audience. But let's start with what your company does, and then we're going to explain how this is going to be very important from an AI assistive generative media, generative production approach.
One of my main passions in life as a resident polymath. I'm sure we've got a lot in the room. So I'm an artist as well as a technologist, as well as somebody who's gotten to do pretty much whatever I wanted in life. If it was interesting, I explored it. So the opportunity to bring the best of the best technology to creatives everywhere was really intriguing to me. And so a couple of years ago, I went forth to do that because Eric at UTA, his company has their own Amazon account. They've got a great IT department, all the talent in the world, the budgets, et cetera, to provide technology. They have access to the latest LLMs. All of those sorts of things are something that, by working at a larger company or a studio, you just have access to.
It's kind of like that walk that you made back over here. You're like, wow, who could afford that gigantic
Who could afford
right?
all that stuff, right?
But wait a second.
We
have other people that want to create too, right?
That's exactly right. And so what we wanted to do is and this is maybe a little bit of an overused term these days, but really democratize access to the best technology out in the world, but also be conscious of that it needs to work together. Right. So, and that you need to be able to start small and go big. Right. We all know the people who have started small and have gone big. We don't need to say who their names are. You guys all know who they are. So if you could start in a place where you could have the same access to the technology that the big guys now have, what could you do with that? What could you do with that? So that's really what we provide. We provide it fully cloud-based. It connects into all of the tools that you know and love. So we're not asking you to, if you're an Adobe, Adobe's a great partner here at the Creator Labs, right? They provide some amazing tools, everything from Firefly, as you grow up into Premiere or After Effects. I mean, these are things, if you come by our booth, you'll see that After Effects was used on Wicked. The guys who did Wicked are in our booth showing how they did that movie on, an Adobe product. So these are all tools that you all have access to, and we provide an easy way to tap into that on our platform. All the way up to, if you need a computer, how many people have gone to try to buy the latest Mac Studio, the hard drive prices, especially with the world crisis going on right now. The big hyperscalers have bought up all the memory. All of these things those are not going to affect Eric because he's at a big company. They're going to affect these guys because they are going to be out of their price range. So we try to normalize that. We try to make sure that that's not an issue. And we try to give you the tools and the integrations that you need so you can skip all of the overhead of the technology and the costs of, time you're wasting to do that and get straight to the storytelling. And that's our big passion at Create.
How many of you out there would like it to be just a little easier to actually make more professional production out there as far as it's a little easier, right? And so, thank you back there. We got our answer. And so if you think about, let's say, Matt, when you hear that, it's like you've been doing some really great things. You're super aware about all the tools that are in the industry. The whole idea of the fact that I could bring on not only, let's say, traditional filmmaking, but actually all of the generative and let's say kind of synthetic media, generative media into that same workflow and actually make that easier. That's got to sound, from all the work that you've been doing broadcasts, that's got to sound like a good thing to you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love that idea. I've always tried to up level my own videos, but run into these barriers that, I don't have the technology, the equipment, the access to that kind of stuff. Yesterday I was watching a panel with the corridor crew guys, and I'm just blown away by what those guys can do. And I'm like, ooh, if I can, experiment with some of that same level of stuff, that would be kind of awesome.
Yeah. How many of you have seen, at least in the last 4 weeks, one awesome, you thought that, wow, that's actually professional level, I don't know, does studio make that? But he actually went behind the scenes and it was two persons in a garage kind of thing. Has anyone seen some really pretty bar raising content out there? Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the thing. It's how do we make it easier as we kind of go down the way? All right. So Anna, a question for you. So you're at Freepik now. What are some of the concerns that a Freepik hears that you might kind of share with kind of audience? Because this audience may have some concerns too. So what are some of the AI concerns that you've heard as a creator and also now at an AI tool company?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the copyright laws are still a very gray area around AI work. And that's some of the feedback that I hear from creators and from other customers. And right now, what we tell our customers and what I recommend to creators is to use your own ethics when you're creating AI because the possibilities are endless, right? So I think that would be my recommendation in that aspect.
So Matt, you've done a lot of episodes. What are some of the concerns that you might kind of share with the group and how they might think about that in maybe a way that they haven't thought about before?
Yeah, I feel like what I hear most often when it comes to what's in the comments and what people are saying about the AI models, it's less about the sort of IP stuff and more about the training data stuff, right? That's kind of where I feel the bigger question keeps on coming up is do these companies have the right to just take whatever they want on the internet, put it into their models and say, look, now we could make that too. I think that's sort of the bigger ethical concern that always sort of spins up in my mind is should we be allowing these companies to do this? Because I'm a creator myself, right? I've been creating long before AI was even part of my process, and some of that kind of stuff concerns me. Are people going to be able to prompt the videos that I make into existence in the future, right? Are people going to be able to go and say, hey, make me a Matt Wolf video that has all of the news from this week, and then just make their own version of it, and then I'm no longer needed, right? So it's the training data stuff is still the area of concern a little bit. But I was actually talking to somebody, Steven, I don't know where he is, but he's somewhere around here. I was talking to him before we jumped on the stage, and he was giving me a different perspective on it. He's been coming to NAB for since the very first one. And he was telling me we've seen these things happening over and over again. There's always been a sort of new thing that sort of compresses the ease of using, doing video production. A new tool comes along that eliminates a handful of jobs,
and we have to figure it out.
And then the companies figure it out. And then, a decade later, a new tool comes along and that eliminates a whole bunch of jobs. And then they have to figure it out again. And so like what we're seeing with AI isn't this like new thing. It's a sort of recurring storyline we're hearing over and over and over again. AI is just the current thing.
I love it. All right. I'm going to start with you, Lisa, on this question. What excites you most in the year ahead when it comes to creating content and some of these new tools? You've been around NAB, you work with a lot because you work with a lot of these companies because they're integrating in and out with you. If you were going to give everyone saying like, I would keep my eye on this, what is it that you're going to tell everyone out here to keep their eye on?
I would keep my eye on the assistive part of AI. Right. I think we get a lot worried about the creative part of it, but,
what Matt's with it.
Yeah, exactly. And when we talk to the VFX guys, right, when you think about where they come from, CGI, computer generated graphics, has been the core for a long time. And when that came to fruition, people that were doing, frame by frame, animation or whatever, they were like, oh, but then you talk to a guy who has to rotoscope for 12 hours. And he's like, if there was an AI
thing. Which is no fun.
Fun.
Has anyone done rotoscoping before?
Okay.
How much fun is it? Like, I'm going to go home today and just like do 12 hours.
I can't wait to rotoscope this afternoon. Woo! Right. And, so as you're, doing that job, he's like, if I, and if it's not taking anybody else's job because nobody else can do what he does. He's like, if I could take that 12 hours and get it down to 2, I would take it in a hot minute. Right. So I think that is a really big place to watch. The other place to watch is education market. So I was talking to a couple of schools and I said, they're like, what should we be thinking about for these kids coming into the production market? And I said, you got to get them practical hands-on experience because those entry-level jobs, the grunt jobs of, clean up the scene are not going to be there anymore. So they're going to have to really jump the shark and like get into real production. So that's where becoming influencers like these guys, like giving them real work to do, that those voices, getting them started with those tools and getting their voices out there, I think is going to be just a really interesting place to watch. And the third thing I would say is when it comes to don't be so afraid to share your work, because when you share your work, yeah, somebody might, repeat your video, but you're always evolving. You're human. You're getting out ahead, and no AI has been trained on your brain. No AI has ever gotten inside Rick Rubin's brain, right? So all of the, the big, no AI knows how Johnny Ive thinks, right? So it's the thinking process that you guys, don't forget to think. Right. Don't forget to think and bring your taste, your influence, to the table. Use the tools, make them I would use a term that I probably shouldn't use on the channel. Right. But you know what I'm saying? They're for you. You're not for them. And don't ever forget that. So they're a tool for you to use. Make them do what you need to do. And, if they decide to learn on your content, you guys all go to museums and you look at the masters. You go to the library, you buy the books. You're all inspired by all these things. These are compressing time. It's up to the humans to stay ahead of that. And, we damn well will.
All right. We're starting to run a little short on time, unbelievably. So we're going to do a couple power round questions. I'm going to finish this one just in real quick, 30 seconds. What are you most excited about? What should they be most excited about in the year ahead?
Yeah, I think I'm most excited about our video tools and how they're going to evolve this next year and over the next couple of months. I think it's going to help give creative power back to creative people because it's going to take away some of those repetitive tasks, right? Less about what I do from like the individual artist creator standpoint, but more about like thinking about like post-production things, editing things, being able to remove an object easily from a scene, things like that are time consuming currently today. I think that AI is going to be able to do that much quicker, much more efficiently very soon with the tools that we have today. And that's what I'm most excited about.
I love it. Now, this is going to be tough for Matt if you watch these shows because you have like 100 million of these. But, oh, Matt, just one or two things that you're like at summary level, real excited about for creators.
For creators, yeah. Okay, there's a couple. So actually, one I came across while at the event. There's a booth over in the North Hall. There's a tool over there that I saw called like Selects, I think it is. But it's this AI editing tool where you can actually plug in your video footage and it will actually it'll remove the silences. There's already a bunch of tools that'll do that, but it'll actually find all of the like bad takes, edit those out, leave just the good takes. And you can also throw a bunch of B-roll in there. It will understand the context of the text and then actually go and sort of overlay the B-roll based on that text. I thought that was a really cool tool.
By the way, I'm going to plus one that just from my business. That is a no-brainer use case for everybody. We'll call it video understanding, indexing, and curation of a large library to find all of your select shots is going to be game-changing for many of you. Definitely look at that. There's several tools coming out for that. Fast storyboarding, yeah. So that one I'm really excited about. I could come to events like this, shoot a bunch of B-roll, go home, record my A-roll, and then say, find the B-roll to go over this A-roll, and it'll just do it. I mean, it'll be a rough draft. I'll probably have to go through and clean it up. The other thing is I'm really excited that AI is getting more proactive, right? Like we're so used to going to ChatGPT and prompting it to do this thing for us. We go to, Midjourney and prompt it to make this image for us. But we're seeing these like agentic things like the OpenClaws and the Perplexity Computer and Claude Cowork and all these tools that are getting much, much better at being proactive. They'll actually learn what you do. They learn the types of videos you make, the types of research you do, the types of news you look for, and it will surface it for you. And you can have it set up. So like every day at 10 a.m., send me a review of all the news I should be paying attention to today. Every day, point me to a couple of YouTube videos that'll help me, solve problems I'm trying to solve in my business. And I love that AI is getting more and more proactive as opposed to something that I need to go and seek out and actually go and prompt for me. I love that. And just a little life hack on that one. For those of you that might be a little concerned, you're like, oh, that's a little bit too much access to the AI. Just set up a couple like simple like accounts. So maybe a Gmail account only for that purpose and use it as your practice account. So that's a good way of doing things. All right. Real quick, in 15 seconds, if you challenged this group to go do one thing in the next week that they should try, Anna, what should they try?
Yeah, absolutely. I would sign up for an AI platform that is an aggregator, something similar to Freepik, where you get access to multiple image models, video models, and then create a unique character that doesn't exist today. Maybe make an ad as well and really familiarize yourself with the process of being able to create with AI. And feel free to stop by our booth. We'll give you some free credits. And yeah, that's what I would challenge you to do. I think it's important to get hands-on, give it a test, and see how it can work for you in the future as creators.
Got to go driving. All right, Lisa, one thing real quick. What should they do?
I would go and take a conversation that you have with somebody and put the full transcript into Notebook LM and generate a presentation, because what that'll do is that'll help you see how you're thinking about things from a structural perspective.
Love it. That's a great little experiment for people to run. And then,
so if you've already got some content online, let's say you've already got YouTube videos or something like that, I would say take the transcript from that YouTube video, throw it into Claude or ChatGPT or whatever your preferred platform is, and actually have it roast it for you, right? Tell it, here's a video I recently made. Where are some of the plot holes? Where's some of the points that I missed? What are some of the things I should have talked about that I didn't? And see how it sort of improves your video process. See what it'll point out for you.
The safe professor. Many people have heard that one. Is that new for some of you out there? Was that a new piece of advice? Yeah, that was a pretty good one. All right. So I think we have time maybe for one question. Maybe one question. All right. Anyone have a question out there? The icebreaker question that will also be the last question.
Any takers? Anybody? Oh, perfect timing. I don't even have to move.
What's something that has surprised you that AI is particularly bad at? That maybe you didn't think it would be bad at?
Sports content. What else?
So for me,
I struggle with sports content.
And what I do, it's really, really bad at like coming up with titles and like big picture ideas, hooks for videos. Like for whatever reason, it's still really, really bad at that.
Yeah, I actually would echo similar. Viral captions and text for viral image overlays, that thing as well. It doesn't have that same sense of humor and comedy that I think is required in order to go viral yet.
Oh, excellent. Good one. Any ideas on that one?
Similar. I mean, I think it just doesn't have that. It doesn't have any taste, honestly. And the titles that it comes up with for things, for products, for everything are way too verbose. Like, does it need to be a 13-letter word every time? I was just like, settle down, Sparky. It just doesn't have, it has zero taste, honestly.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I so appreciate everyone being attentive today and listening to this panel. I hope you come and get to know our panelists here afterwards. I'll leave you with this. How many of you out there feel a little intimidated when you're looking at the entire world of AI tools out there? Any of you feel intimidated? Me too. I'm a CTO, and I will tell you, it is virtually impossible to keep up. So here's going to be my optimistic advice to you, and I think, Matt, this was probably going to resonate with you. Everybody else is in the same boat, okay? So the easiest thing is we're really kind of at the whole beginning of this, right? So you haven't really missed the bus. I think the most important thing is get out, try some things, go learn some things. You're not behind. All of us are learning this. This is the greatest change management learning activity the human race has ever gone through in the history of the world, and we're right at the beginning of it. It's a super exciting time. Let's go make some awesome content. Hopefully you got some great advice today. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.